Missed this game last week, so
Yeah, it was mostly diplomatic stuff.
all right. Well, Will is more than capable of doing all that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, they took care
Yeah.
of it. Actually, they did exceptionally well. They met up with well, they detected a distress signal from a Murian trade ship, and they helped them out. They went aboard, helped them out, learned about the Murians, which are basically like 7 foot tall
Mm.
Wookiees, kind of, and they did well enough that the Murians invited them to their homeworld Arcturus, in the center of the Altarian Confederation, and so they came down for kind of a powwow and feast, and they're being offered. Basically, the offer is to basically stock the cargo hold of Revelation with fresh fruits, vegetables, even meats.
Oh,
So
that's probably pretty cool.
yeah, lots of food. A lot of
Um,
it,
re-
a lot of
yeah.
it was them, figuring out how to go about repairs, and everything's in alien script, so they had to
Uh,
rely on their translation devices and whatnot. So Deepnight does have a quote unquote
it,
universal translator type thing.
it's got a big old database. I mean, but yeah, I mean, the further we get away, I guess the less useful that would be.
Right. I am not seeing you in roll 20
Oh, I know why.
yet. Log into the wrong game.
Oh, it was on the last game I was playing.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, this Pirates of Drenix. I was like, yeah, yeah. I just thought you were opening up shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess JT's feeling under the weather tonight, so he will be out. Probably
Yeah.
from breathing all that Canadian wildfire smoke.
Man, uh, maybe so. I bet that's going to be terrible to deal with.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures and of the smoke overcasting different areas, and um, it just reminded me of a couple summers ago here. I mean, everything we were socked in like that,
Yeah,
and yeah. So no, I know exactly what that's like, and it sucks.
I'm sure. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that, but I feel bad that they do.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that is no fun. I think it's so funny. All the conspiracy theorists all over Twitter. Oh, the government start. Why would the fucking government go and light their own country on fire? You
Well, I mean,
fucking imbecile.
I mean, it, well, I mean, there was a storm, so I mean, the all the lightning strikes should be recorded, and a pretty good idea of where all the fires started. I mean, so
Well,
if a
that
fire
I guess
started
that
in a place that there was no lightning, you
that
investigate that really
well
hard.
that they've had dry conditions and winds, and that one lightning storm that came through like lit 38 individual fires on its own, and then of course the wind came through, and those 38 turned into over 100 like within hours.
Yeah, I
And I'm like,
believe it.
that's not a hard concept. I mean,
Oh, I hear you.
it's just
And
not
again,
complicated.
all the lightning strikes were recorded by radar. I mean, we
Right,
saw every
right.
lightning strike, and so we know where the fire. This shouldn't be that hard to deal
Yeah,
with.
no, but Cletus and friends is out there. You know,
You know.
it's the government. Like, sure it is.
It's the government.
It's the government.
It's the government. I used to work for them. I'm so ashamed.
I know, right? Lighting their own country on fire. Whatever. Hey.
Well, I mean, it stopped a lot of oil and stuff. I mean, it the government could have picked other things to do that wouldn't stop. I mean, just like
Yes.
kill
Right.
the whole country. That just
Right.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right. Well,
I
and
mean,
it's the same mentality, the same people that were claiming that during the pandemic when we had lockdowns to try and stymie the spread. Those are the same people. Ah, well, the lockdowns don't have anything to do with the pandemic. They're trying to take over. Well, first
yeah,
of all, the government doesn't have to take over. They're already in power. And two, what are they going to gain through lockdowns? What are they gaining by tanking their own economy? I mean, even if you
yeah.
were taking over a country, you don't really want to take over a country whose economy has gone into the toilet.
I guess it
that
means
gets
who
you
you put
nothing.
in charge. Like Jacques Cousteau's thought that there should only be 3 billion people on the whole planet.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
That too.
Oh, no. It's only supposed to be 500 million people on the planet.
Oh well.
I saw that in a movie. UN
He might have
director of
changed it over
the chairman
time.
of the UN is there saying the planet can only support 500 million, so we'll just kill the rest.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I saw something about that too. I was like, okay. Sure.
Well, I mean, the planet is going to end in a couple thousand years any fucking way. So I mean, in the long scheme of things, anything we do to really preserve the planet for this eternal thing, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
We as a species, if we want to really think about long term, we should be working about finding ways to get off the planet
Right.
and away from our sun star, whatever you want, because it's going to fail us in a couple thousand years.
Well,
the
star's got another 5 or 6 billion years to go before it starts to balloon. That billion, 5 or 6 billion years. That's fine. We got plenty of time. But the human race ain't going to be around that long. We just are
maybe not. We got to get out of here, man.
Yeah.
It's
No, I agree, 100%. And I mean, we'd be a lot further along if it were not for Nixon signing in the space shuttle program, because the space shuttle program basically neutered our exploration efforts and stuck us to essentially low Earth orbit, and it's just we could have been a lot further than that.
I bet you we have Star Wars though.
Yeah. That was
I mean, they said we were going to put missiles in space and not going to weaponize space.
Going to have
and are you telling me all them sneaky motherfuckers that have the CIA and all that shit didn't put a fucking weapons platform in space?
Right, and not just us. But I mean, the whole thing that cracks me up about that is that every country that has space capability is launching secret satellites into orbit. And so this whole neutrality thing about weapons in space basically relies on us trusting everybody else in a untrustworthy manner. We're all spying on each other. We're supposed to trust them that they're not doing that. Like, sure they're not. Sure, we didn't. Like, I don't trust ourselves. I don't believe you guys.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if I was running a country, I would be trying to spy on all the other countries. That just seems like the right thing to do. But I mean, that's so you don't get Pearl Harbored.
Right, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's ridiculous to then believe that nobody has put weapons up in space when they're all launching clandestine space missions and spy satellites. You don't think any of those are armed?
I don't, man. I mean, if we're putting shit on Mars, I can't wait to put people on Mars.
Right.
Well, I mean, we got to get people on Mars, and then they got to get to fucking so that we'll really have Martians.
Yeah.
That's the first step. I mean, to getting out of the solar system and all that is we have to go to another planet.
Well, now they know that no mission, manned mission that goes to Mars, they can't last up there longer than 4 years. So,
why?
Because of the radiation, and so the current means that we have of absorbing or deflecting radiation are not up to the task of anything longer. And I guess
so what, Alpha Centauri then?
That's only what, like, I think it's what, 900 years away at current best estimate speeds. But
you got to make that mothership.
Right, yes, just make a generation ship. But I mean, that's not to say that.
No, thank you. I don't want to.
You would get freezer burn. But I mean, that's not to say that they'll come up with some other way of shielding. But
if you ever get an opportunity to go on a generation ship, just think you can hide graffiti all over that thing until you die, and people will be forced to look at your shit.
I don't know. I'd rather go around. If I were to wake up out of the freezer pod, I'd rather go around drawing on people's faces with a Sharpie.
Yeah. You could give them tattoos.
You could give them tattoos, yeah.
Yeah. If a guy's really kind of rude and everything, you just put a dick on his head and like put dickhead on each cheek. So
I haven't heard from Gabe, but I don't see him on. So I don't know if
I'm here.
Oh, you are here. Okay. Well, there he is.
He's just not here.
Yeah, he's just not here in this screen. He's here in this screen.
Yeah.
Oh. I'll be in there in just a second.
And Will said that he is on his way. He's logging in. So, going through my prep notes, I'm estimating that there is one more minor leg that is, well, I call it a minor leg, but it's really not. It's actually pretty relevant, or it will be. You may not know that it's relevant now, but it will be. But before you get to Point Denman, which will officially start your guys' lonely journey through the deep or the Great Rift.
Well, while we're waiting on him to log in, can I get some rolls for the time I've been in space on making my perfect clone?
Well, you're still
Susie Shrek.
You're still on Arcturus, so okay. We will get to that. You'll get to make another roll.
Well, fair enough then. I'm happy. Yeah, hell yeah.
To see how far along you have progressed.
Well, I've got to get the DNA all spliced and nice and packaged up into a viable thing, and then I have to make one. and then once it, yeah.
So the other question I have on this, I'm assuming that, I mean, the way that you were describing, I'm assuming that you are doing all of this lab work yourself.
That's the process. That's the goal.
So that is going to considerably increase the amount of time. But
well, I've got that.
At the same time, I don't necessarily know. I mean, you're really getting into some questionable ethical medicine and science. So.
And see, that is why I'm just in there doing my thing, and people are, you serve good alcohol when the inspectors come in.
Well, nobody's inspecting you, but yeah. I mean, the funny thing about that, though, well, for one, like for instance, the Soleimani have been doing exactly that kind of shit for some time. I mean, this is how we have like uplifted apes and uplifted dolphins and things of that manner. On the other end, it's not like the Imperium is completely blameless in any of this either, because they have a number of worlds that, I mean, mutant isn't necessarily an official term, really, but that's what they are. They've got mutated species. Ones that were gene engineered in order to operate in those environments, like belters and
right.
hazardous.
Well, I mean, the first step into successfully getting so I can transfer memories into the clones is I gotta have things, and I gotta have stuff I can experiment with, and creating the perfect clone is a great way to work on transferring memories and having a reliable assistant.
Yeah, and this next role is going to it is going to lead to a find that will further that research.
Oh, that's going to be awesome, because especially if there's cool creatures and stuff I can get DNA samples of.
I think Gabe might be the only one that'll catch on to what it is, but unless anybody else has read Agent of the Imperium.
I have not.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a good book.
Which one?
Agent of the Imperium by Mark Miller. I highly recommend it. That's a interesting book that spans.
Man, if
shit, I want to say it spans almost 1,000 years. I mean it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it. It is it 1,000? It's a long time. It's at least several hundred years at the very minimum. But it will go. It covers some of the information that you will be dredging up, assuming that you make the roll, because we're talking about some deep state, top secret shit.
Like Sarda is slow to boot.
Yeah. Yeah, he sent a message that he was on his way. Why don't I just go ahead and get us started? Welcome to Deepnight Revelation. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are on Arcturus, loading up on provisions, fresh food, and all manner of nifty things. This is the last, I don't want to say the last civilized port, but it is the last polity that will be in existence until they get to Denman, unless of course they detour and go into Mavzog territory, and they really don't want to do that. Before we get started, we'd like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And tonight, we would like to thank the Speechless Bard. Speechless Bard makes leather products for your tabletop role-playing games. Every time I say that, I get it. My 12-year-old inner child just giggles. Leather products for your role-playing games. Such as she has leather covers for your core rulebook. She's got.
You were into the leather at 12?
Well, you know, I was into a lot of things. I was an early bloomer. She has a leather dice rolling mat that when it's rolled up, it looks like a spell scroll. The spell compendiums are really cool. So yeah, definitely check her out. If you are ordering for a birthday or gift of some kind, or even for yourself, you're going to want to give yourself a little bit of extra time. She's over in the UK. She does all of the work by hand, including picking out the leather swaths. She goes and actually picks them out, but rather than ordering in bulk. So it can take a little bit of time to cross the pond and get to you. But definitely check out the Speechless Bard. If you are a fan of our Saturday game, the Braunhaven campaign setting is available via DriveThruRPG and Big Geek Emporium, and it is available print on demand through DriveThruRPG. And the new book, I am still hammering away at the Lost Mines of Drothamstone, but it is coming out soon, I hope. Knock on wood. It's going to have a huge hex crawl map, and I'm in the process of detailing all of the locations that can be found on that map, as well as, I'll say, a large dungeon. I haven't decided exactly how big it's going to be. I'm trying to avoid doing a mega dungeon again, because I personally am not a fan of mega dungeons, but and I already did that, so let's try not to do that. Hello, Will.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
No worries. Also, we have a merch store via Zazzle. If you like the channel, you want to help support us, all of the money from the merch store goes back into directly back into the channel. We've got t-shirts, we've got buttons, we have a blanket that goes from baby size to ginormous. We've got a beer stein. So yeah, if you want to help support the channel, go to Zazzle and get yourself a new t-shirt. So, where we left off last week, you guys were on Arcturus, and essentially, I mean, you guys had pretty much done everything that you really needed to do on Arcturus, and your ship hold, and let me double check that. Back up here to this page. So these are the stats for Revelation. Move this so that I can see what I am doing. So standard cargo, you have 149 tons of cargo space. But that is just for Revelation itself. That's not including, like, for instance, your pods. The individual pods have their own cargo space. This thing can stow a lot of stuff. And so, as of right now, you are in the process of being fully stocked and loaded up with different fruits and vegetables, fresh meat that the Murians have caught, and
looks like they're into fish.
There's probably some fish. Yeah, there's probably fish in there. There is and you get a Murian pulse laser bay. Of course, some assembly will be required, but the Murian pulse laser bay looks like one of these. And so Murians, really, in their ship designs, they generally have eschewed radiation weapons and stick mostly to lasers. The pulse laser array doesn't quite have the range of like a particle beam bay or things like that, but it still does pretty good. The one weapon that they do have is some of their bigger vessels do have a Mason bay, but they don't refer to it as a Mason bay. They refer to it as the deep penetration communications device. And for
That's what she said.
right, yes. For Bocephus, this is what the Mirians look like. And Arcturus, it is mostly covered in, well, a lot of along the equatorial regions. It's mostly covered in forests. The rest of the world, because of its high axial, it's got an 89-degree high axial tilt, and it's got a short orbit around the star. So there are vast swaths of Arcturus that are rather desolate, but along the equatorial regions, it is very fertile. And so, yeah, they stock you guys up on all sorts of different meats. We'll just call them mystery meats. Fruits, vegetables, things of that nature. So you can... I'm sorry, what was that? So you guys are full up. You're stocked up on food, and you've got your pulse laser bay. And I haven't written, well, that's my bad. Hold on. Cha-cha-cha.
Would it be possible to get a DNA sample of these guys?
You can. Well, who are you asking? Are you going out on...
Just offer them beverages and keep the glasses afterwards.
Well, no, I mean, I need like a good blood sample. I mean, I can try to talk to the medical people around.
Yeah. I would do that. We could all offer to swap blood.
Sure.
I'm sure they probably haven't seen your kind in a while.
Yeah.
They are.
He wants to swap sperm.
So Mirians are not. They do know humans. You guys aren't completely new to them, but they don't see you guys very often. So much.
Freaky dolphin creatures are the ones that.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Jakari or bear. Yeah.
Here we go. This is what I'm looking
They have strange mouths. They look like beaks.
I know, but they have big frames that would be great for the Jesus Shrek clone.
I wouldn't want to challenge in the lumberjack games.
Right.
No.
Right.
Or arm wrestling.
But yeah, big, strong, hairy people, I mean, they've got to be naturally good at braiding.
I guess it depends on how patient they are.
Yeah.
Right. So. I'll show you what this looks like in game terms. So this is the stats for the pulse laser array or pulse laser bay that they gave you.
Ooh, nice. Very nice. Very long range at 5D damage.
AP2. Auto 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But the AP2 and the Auto 2, and it doesn't even do radiate. This is a great weapon for piracy.
Yes. Yeah. This could be.
We need it Wednesday night.
Right. This could be used fairly well. They pretty much all of their ships take a like a defensive nature. They're not really an aggressive people. In fact, you guys have noted. I mean, everybody that you've run into on this planet, they're just really nice. Now, the one weird thing, so Arcturus, and again, this is for Bocephus since he missed last week. So they do have a Jodani embassy here. But so far as you can tell, I mean, you haven't seen. You guys, you've spent a couple of days here. You've seen that there are a couple of Jodani that you've seen walking around the marketplace, but it's not like the Jodani have a huge presence. This is a small embassy. There are, standing outside the embassy, there are a detachment of Jodani Marines, which can be a little scary, especially you guys coming from the Imperium. But even the Jodani seem to be minding their own business. And the reason for the Jodani embassy here is that just a ways to Corward and Spinward. Corward and Spinward. The Jodani
Northwest.
Yeah, northwest. Yes, northwest. So the Jodani do have a presence in Vanguard reaches. They have a region that they have settled, something around 88 worlds that they basically have created a Jodani province, home away from home, as it were. And but unlike the consulate, they seem to be getting along with everybody. They don't. I mean, of course, being Jodani, of course, they're going to have their intelligence operatives all over the place, but they aren't overtly aggressive about it, the way they are up at the consulate along the Spinward Marches border.
You think we should try to warn them about the fungal danger?
No.
I mean, well,
Let it eat them.
Well, no, I mean, if it eats them, it eats everybody, and if
I mean, my only worry would be that it makes us kill on sight when we return.
That would be a problem, yeah.
Right? I mean, if our whole purpose is to go see the fungal exposure, and then we return from the fungal exposure, I would blow my ship up,
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's a valid point. Yeah.
And scrape up the scraps and put them in the sun.
Right. Yes.
Just
Little did you know
if my cloning operation is successful, I mean, we'll have a fleet of well-trained people.
So you guys finish up on Arcturus and pretty much go on your merry way. Or as merry as it.
We did want to have engineers, if they have the opportunity, take a look at our engines in sort of a technology swap, because it seems like their maneuver engines were superior to ours.
Yeah.
Just in terms of people are bored senseless. This is a goddamn long trip.
Yes, it is.
So if the engineers have an idea of maybe ways to upgrade or fix or fine tune or improve the engines, gives them something to do.
Right. So looking at this, let's trade.
Especially since all those maneuver drives are offline for a week at a time while you're jumping, so there's plenty of time to fiddle with them.
So yeah, the Murians have a tech level 13 society. And so their trade service merchantman ship is capable. It's 5,000 tons, capable of 2 Gs of thrust. They do have another major class of ship that they use that is also 5,000 tons, but it's registered as the Exploration Service Scout, and it has 3 Gs of thrust, all within a 5,000 ton package. So it Yeah, I mean, they can go ahead and trade notes with you guys. In fact, they can trade notes with you. They're really excited to trade notes with you about their holographic displays and things of that manner.
I'm definitely interested in that.
Did I get the okay to do the DNA?
So, like I said, who are you? Are you asking the trade delegation that invited you down, or are you going directly to the doctors? Are you going up and...
Shouldn't we work the chain of command and go to the people that brought us here and ask them who to go and talk to? I mean, if it's offensive to their society, they would know to tell us now.
If they have xenobiologists, for example, maybe they could offer introductions to those xenobiologists.
Yeah. So make a diplomacy plus your choice, either social or charm.
I don't have diplomacy, so -3, but I can use my charm, so -2. All right.
Well, that's actually pretty good. So with a 6, they agreed to give you some blood samples. They would like to collect some of yours as well.
Of course.
And I mean, they've like I said, they have experience with humans, but they don't have so much experience with your kind. What's the name of your race again?
We're Chikari.
The Chikari, right? I always just call you dolphin people, but yeah, they don't have a problem with that, and they also are trading schematics with your engineers. And after on the 3rd day on the planet, you guys kind of load up and continue on. And bring this map up. So you guys travel another good 2 months before getting to this leg of the journey. The planet Jespa, you essentially refuel from ice chunks out in their Oort cloud, and that takes a little bit. That takes about 5 days because you have to scout out each individual chunk. It's a little concerning. But Bocephus, make a let's see here. I guess that would be science, biology, plus intellect or education check.
All right. So this would be +2. This is on the other end, so I like it better already.
Okay. So in the course of this 2 months, you've been basically doing some gene editing and basically theory on because you're basically having to create this being from scratch. So this is a really long-term project. But you got onto the topic of exploring memory engrams. And during that exploration, you saw numerous references to previous projects that date back all the way to the Second Imperium. But when you go to reference those documents, they either don't exist or you are locked out.
Okay.
Now, it's not to say that the information isn't there. Like in the cases where stuff has been locking you out, it appears to, it's not even registering as classified. It's just you don't have security clearance for that information.
Yeah. Well, I get that. They might have to make me make my own shit. It's just what they're going to have to make me do.
Well, I mean,
Here
you
this,
could well, there's a couple of different options. You could
I could ask.
you could ask, or you could just attempt to, you know, hack.
Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I have characters that would gladly take these kind of chances and everything, but I am not going to shit where I sleep.
Yeah, you're gonna be living here for quite some time.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a different character than Ting. And so, I mean, I will simply fill out the paperwork and work the bureaucracy and request access to the file due to top secret mission sensitive reasons.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make an admin plus intellect or education check.
All right. That's why I got admin. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we're role-playing paperwork.
Yeah.
Nice. So
Ugh.
you fill this out and you send it up the line. This kind of paperwork, the first stop is the XO. And, of course, in many cases, the XO... he's not going to get very many of these kinds of requests. But on a warship, he might. And in a lot of cases, he's going to dismiss them out of hand and be like, "No, you don't. You're an ensign. You don't need clearance for that." And into the garbage bin it goes. But in this case, it's probably, since he doesn't get a whole lot of sensitive information requests, because the only sensitive information that anybody on this ship is aware of is the Deepnight entity, and everybody on the ship knows about the Deepnight entity. So nobody's asking any questions about that. And all of that data is, of course, relevant to everybody's mission and is available. And so this kind of request, he's going to look at it and go, and he's probably going to kick it up to the captain, and they are probably going to have a private dinner and discuss it. And we will get back to that.
Wonderful.
So you guys end up here at Epsilon VIII, and Epsilon VIII is a fairly barren system, but so this is Epsilon VIII, and all this blue on the planet map. Well, we'll get to that because it isn't blue. But this is the system itself. As you can see, Epsilon VIII is all the way out here, 15 AU from an M13 star, and
that's not blue. It's white.
Exactly. And it's not even really white. It is kind of a yellowish color.
Oh no!
It's like a yellowish white color.
We should go somewhere else. Yellow snow should be a red flag for everybody.
Right. And so around these large gas giants, there are a number of ice worlds which are of interest. Now, as you can see, they have this is a tech level. There are like 150 million people living here for some reason. So the thing about Epsilon VIII is that it is a toxic hell dump. All this blue that you see is not water. It is a mix of methane and ammonia. This is your science crew, of course, sends out, and there are pinnaces and whatnot out scanning the system. These are the probe images that come back of the surface of Epsilon VIII. It is unpleasant, but it does have a moon, and the moon that it actually orbits Epsilon VIII. It has a trace atmosphere, and its orbital year is like a few days. But it does have 150 million people living on it. There is a Class C downport, and this downport. They do offer unrefined fuel, things of that nature. They're only tech level 9, and their big claim is basically ferrying between the moon and doing mining on Epsilon VIII itself. But and I mean, your sensor probes, of course, pick up a number of digital references that are referencing claim sites for mines and things of that nature on both the moon and on Epsilon VIII. But the very interesting thing is that your science team comes to you with two things. The first is that the gas giant, where the ship is heading to conduct refueling operations, they have determined that the rocky planets, the rad worlds, of course. Pull that back up. The rad worlds and whatnot are rife for mining. So the science team is saying, if we want to get ore for any number of things, which the ship's workshops can always use material, now is a good time to do it.
Yeah, sure. So do we have drones for that, or do we have what would be like? I mean, obviously we can't spend a lot of time mining, so I imagine sort of a hit and run thing.
It's going to be both a mix of drone operations and EVA. So you're talking about a lot of ships in the air at once conducting these operations. A lot of personnel.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. So there's that. The second one is that the sensor operator looking at this simply looks at this and says, "How curious," and he brings it to your attention. And in this muddled mix of ice and radiation worlds around this gas giant, he has found scientific signs of biological material. And he explains that that's not an entirely unusual result, because we already know that the rad world itself is good for mining. It could just be carbon emissions that are being picked up. But the interesting thing about this is that it is localized in one space, in space itself. And he says maybe if we get closer, we'll be able to see, that it's coming off of, a small chunk of rock or whatever. But the other thing about it is that it is giving off an energy signature in the thermal bands and some minor X-ray.
So it's a form of life, and it's giving off heat of some sort.
It's biological, yes.
Yeah. All right.
And not only that,
I'm happy to go.
It's got something that's putting off rads. So
how far away is it?
It is in orbit, or it is appearing to be in between this ice world and rad world here.
Okay.
A space whale. It's a space whale.
I'm just curious what kind of distance we're looking at.
What kind of suits can we have to protect us from the radiation? We need the most potent radiation suits and measures available.
Isn't there a hazard? Isn't there a hazard suit that we can put on?
Yes.
But I don't. I'm asking if it's especially, I want something that's going to block out 4 or 5 fucking 100 rads, man.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is my clairvoyance goes 500 kilometers.
Yeah, good call, man.
I think it's more than 500 if it's.
Well, that's why I'm asking what kind of distance we're looking at.
So
we're at the gas giant.
Here is. Oops. This is the hostile environment suits that are available.
It's got 200 rads. I guess that's something.
Pretty much, I mean, anybody.
That's pretty good.
So
Yeah.
the crew that are going to be doing the mining, this of course is going to be what they're wearing. And then the question first comes out is how you want to go about this. So you've got two operations going on. You could just tell them, well, put your best people on it, or you could even put Sub-Lieutenant Alex Venati and put her in charge of the mining operations. I mean that's of course an option. She has naval experience, so.
Sarda's the best scanner around. If anybody's going to locate the prime places to go mine and hit the sweet spots,
yeah,
then I gotta think Sarda's the guy.
Well, then on the other hand, you also have this biological matter that you want to investigate. So
I don't think we should commit any miners until we've cleared the biological thing as not being a threat.
Okay. Yeah, you can do it. You know,
technically, we can just give them an adulthood ceremony, and they're no longer minors. I mean,
yes.
We can, at 12, we can, make them spit in a fire and do a dance or something.
I believe your species calls that a quinceañera.
Yeah.
So here's, you can't really do them one at a time. And the reason for that being is that the ship is refueling as fast as it can. There's not enough time to do both. But you could, like I said, you could delegate and have somebody put in charge of the mining operation while you investigate the biology. Or you could, of course, split the party.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then let's split the party and we'll send the miners out. I was hesitant to risk an entire fleet working on mining while a possible space dragon is going nuts.
We need to go after the biological because probably want to get a DNA sample of that.
I think our ship needs to go after that, and we let the NPCs handle the mining operation.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, you're talking about that spoiled little brat sub-lieutenant?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't even invite me to the poker party, and I'm a reserve sub-lieutenant.
Right, so, is there another option?
No. Your best bet is to delegate to her. If you keep skipping her over, she gets resentful and starts subverting you. If you put her in charge of things and she fails, that's on her. And so that's how you learn and you stop being a bitch. And so, we put her in charge. Let her, if she fucks it up,
fail.
Yeah, it's how you grow. If you
dragon will eat her.
If you don't give her responsibility, she is going to constantly undermine us.
Is there, looking through the psychological files, is there an NPC that we can put under her that might be supportive and useful to support her? Like a good drill sergeant type person, to really.
That is a very good question.
Yeah, the big thing I would be worried about is that if she's playing cronyism, she's playing favorites. I mean, obviously she's got a group of people that are sympathetic to the Imperium. And so if she starts, playing cronyism versus getting the job done as best as way possible, that would be where I would be worried.
Well, yeah, but if we're putting her in charge of something important, I'm just thinking if we give her a really strong number 2, that will, maybe have a good wisdom, maybe someone, God, if there was someone she respected that we picked out.
I say we put the Doctor Who guy in second.
You want to put Space Wizard?
Space Wizard as her assistant.
You could do that. Yeah, I was going to say you could put and I think I got a picture of it.
We probably want to take Gandalf with us. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's probably true.
So Alberon Moss is a good choice to put directly under her. And
is he also an Imperium sympathizer, or what? Does he fall into a different camp, or are we not certain?
I would say
he's not really a Imperial sympathizer. He's more of a I don't know. He's just kind of happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. Yeah, I just want people that are my whole focus. I'd rather have people that are far more focused on the success of the mission, period, versus Imperium versus corporation versus So,
right.
Yeah. Well,
So,
there. We'll give him a good, strong support guy. Give him a chance to earn him a thing. See if we can get a team going, and maybe next time we use her, we'll add a third person to the main NPC class, where when they die, we'll have multiple names to mention that died with her.
But yeah, I think it'd be a big mistake to constantly undercut her.
Yeah, we might as well space her rather than let her sit there and brew and get resentful.
What an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, I guess we'll give her a chance to do right. She might be a little Starbuck.
So you assign this to Sir Sub-Lieutenant Sir Alex Venati. She is a noble, and she seems excited by the chance to actually, go out and actually do something rather than be.
I imagine everybody does, frankly.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, this is a lot of work. We're talking about, in addition to the ship conducting fueling or refueling operations, skimming the gas giant, you've got a small fleet of small craft that are heading out to this rad world and conducting these mining operations. And then you guys, of course, are in your
the Desnex or whatever.
Yeah, the Desnex, the small craft. I don't know, I might be investing in a new mouse if this keeps acting up. My scroll wheel's acting up. And so, Jack.
But the big thing I'd say is that if we know that there are specific minerals that are required to then prioritize the mining based on need versus ease.
Right. And so you've got shit. David Anderreich, that's his name.
There you go.
David Anderreich, the space wizard, joins up with you guys on the Desnex, and you guys launch from the ship and head out towards this ice world, and this one where this sensor reading is coming from, you're picking up, because of the rad world and everything else in the region, your sensors are a bit fuzzy, but it starts to get clearer the closer you get, obviously. And
is there a telepathic presence?
There is not.
Okay.
But this ice planet that you're getting, or ice planetoid that you're getting closer to, is not in one piece. It is. There are chunks ripped off of this thing. Like, it's been hit a number of times by something large. I mean, it's a gas giant. It's probably been hit by numerous things that have come through the system, and so it has a trail of bits and pieces of chunks of ice that are floating around it. And so Jack needs to make a piloting plus dex check to maneuver through the field. Nice. And so as he's getting through the ice field, you can hear, every once in a while, you hear a clunk on the side of the hull as something hits it. You realize that if you had tried to get in closer with Revelation, that could have been a problem, because there would have been it's a lot bigger. There would have been a whole bunch of clunks and bangs, and probably it would have taken some damage just trying to get close to this thing. But who wants to make the electronic sensors plus intellect or education check?
I'm rolling right now.
I'm a 0. At least I'm a 0 now instead of a -3.
Yeah, I'll be over there with it, not helping him or nothing, but I really want to look at this biological information coming through.
Plus whatever bonus the ship itself might grant. So 12 plus.
Okay, so
I think you get +2 from the ship.
I'm not sure. I just am rolling without the bonus, and
yeah, 12.
Let Andrew worry about whether or not that bonus is necessary or not.
So
like Chris, sorry. Got another. My other traveler GM is Andrew.
Okay.
So.
He's the dice man, made of clay.
Right. So as you get closer, you do realize these energy readings, of course, get stronger, but it's no less, confusing. Like I said, you're seeing heat decay, like it's been decaying over time. So it's slowly cooling down. You are seeing some minor X-ray emissions, and Jack brings the ship in closer, and you are able to see where these energy readings are coming from, and it is a loose cloud of biological matter, and it seems that it is slowly disintegrating and drifting apart.
Huh.
Well, I guess we
can
should try to
scoop it? Can we scoop it with our?
Are they fungal in nature?
It is not fungal.
Why don't we try reading its surface thoughts?
Can we scoop it with a fuel scoop?
Not with a fuel scoop, no. If you want to get samples, Jack would have to try to pilot a little bit closer, and you'd have to go EVA.
Or a drone of some sort.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, that would require a remote ops plus dex check if you wanted to try getting some material with the drones.
That's the skill I forgot to train. God damn it! I keep forgetting that our it's the one electronics where, well, I guess I do have it a level 0. I did train it. I've got a level 0.
You think we could get within 250 meters of it?
I mean, Jack's a pretty good pilot. He could probably do that sitting on his head.
Then, if we get that close, I can try to read its surface thoughts, and that will tell me if it's sentient or if it has.
There are no surface thoughts to be read. There is 0 telepathic presence.
Well, no, this wouldn't be telepathic.
There are no surface thoughts to be read.
Yeah, he has
You're getting a black spot.
All right. Well, I'll mention that to the people on the crew.
You're getting the same. You're getting the same response that you would get from a corpse.
He's just told us it's dead.
Could this be a corpse?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like it would have to be a pretty large creature if that's the case, right?
Yeah, this cloud, like I said, the cloud itself is disintegrating and slowly drifting apart, but your sensor scans detect that it, put into whole, even the material that is currently left would dwarf your ship. Not the Revelation, but your scout ship. I mean, you're talking about something that is in whatever this was in the 4,000 to 5,000 D-ton range.
Okay, that's pretty big.
Let's send a drone out.
Yeah,
then.
let's do that. I have a +1 for drone operation. I don't know what anybody else.
Oh, well, do your fucking thing then, I guess.
I just didn't know if somebody else might be better.
Yeah, how about a -3?
Well, okay,
yeah, I would get a 0 in it. Yeah.
All right.
Just because I've got electronics, so you're 1.
I mean, you can also take your time.
Yeah, well, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna take my time and we'll push it out there. So I'm gonna add the +2, right, for taking my time.
Yep.
And that's pretty good.
Okay.
Got an 11.
So yeah, you send the drone out into this cloud, and the drone, of course, sends back its own sensor data to you, and some of the biological matter in this cloud has already decayed to a point where it's useless. And
right,
it's it's the stuff at the bottom of the crisper, of the vegetable crisper in your refrigerator.
Vacuum does weird things to things.
Yes, but there is other stuff here, and not only can you, with the drone, I mean, it'll take multiple passes, but you determine that you could get the sample that you are requiring. You could also gather up to 6D units of exotic biological matter.
Yeah, like all that shit right there.
Let's do that. So, does that require multiple rolls, or what do we need to do for that?
No, you did fine. It's just a time situation.
Got it.
And so we'll just go ahead.
We'll coordinate with the mining operation so that we're.
So you guys
take as much time as we need and make sure we're not. But
oh
same
my
time,
God, that's a lot.
Yeah, you get 23 units of exotic biological matter. I don't know who wants to write that down, but
our doctor, that's the type of stuff he handles.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is 23 units of exotic biological matter.
Yes.
I mean, that is wonderful.
That's exotic.
Yeah. All right. 23.
Must be a dancer.
So initial study that on your way back, initial study of this is that, well, Bocephus, go ahead and make a science biology plus intellect or education check, and I'm going to let you throw an additional +2 on that because of the systems that you have on the Desenex. Okay. So initially, I mean, what you are determining is that this is was some kind of large spacefaring creature, and it died. You're not initially. You're not able. You haven't been able to. You don't have enough time to study it long enough to determine, what the cause of death was. But you have been able to determine that when it died, just looking at the cellular decay, you determined that this creature was probably in the mid-range of its lifespan. So it didn't die of old age.
Yeah. Well, this is good stuff. Man, I can't wait to get this stuff back to the lab, guys.
Yeah, your science team is going to be super.
Yeah, you need to do a DNA sequence.
Oh well, I mean, now.
Then you can put it in the cloning vat.
If this thing is a spacefaring entity, I mean, being able to make a spacefaring things would be kind of neat, or
the fact the fact that it's bigger than our ship might make it difficult to clone.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
No,
So we
just
make a tiny one.
You want to take some of its DNA and not all of it.
I'm going to make a pygmy one.
Pygmy one.
Well, maybe give it 4 acids. 4-ass space entity mixed with monkey and Chewbacca.
So yeah, Sarda, go ahead and make another remote ops plus dex check.
While he's doing all that,
can I also take extra time on this, or is this more?
Yeah, no, you can take extra time. Okay,
9 on that one.
It's going to take 3 days to refuel the ship.
if someone want to, I've got comms 1, but if someone wants to roll dice, we could check in with the comms and talk to our people and see how it's going.
I'm comm 0. I now have computer 1, so I got 0 on all the other electronics.
Yeah.
I've got a 1 in comms.
Right.
But I mean, I don't think we don't necessarily need to roll to radio the other ship, right? I mean, that's like saying, do I need to roll comms to talk to you over the walkie-talkie?
Well, there is some interference from the radiation.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, then, yeah. Let's.
Yeah, do you think, Randy?
Yeah, whoever wants to make a comms check, go for it.
I rolled poorly. Radiation was interfering with the communication.
Oh,
yes,
man,
you get quite a bit of static back.
Yeah, you gotta rub it this way. Rub the console with your elbow, and try.
Have you tried percussive maintenance? Yeah, smack it. Percussive maintenance. So
I got a 12.
So
he hit it with his tail.
While you guys are
really hard,
are futzing with the comms trying to get through the static, Jack, go ahead and make another piloting plus dex check. Perfect. So
Jack's riding the edge.
Yeah, he's yes.
Puck, Jack.
Everybody's butthole puckers a little bit as Jack clangs yet another chunk of ice as he's pulling away from this biological matter, and he kind of clips that biological matter with one edge of the ship, some of the decaying matter, and it just kind of breaks apart in a rather disgusting display across your windshield. And
that's gonna smell good when we get back.
yeah. As soon as the heat hits that's gonna be fantastic, and it's gonna smell like downtown Newport. And so Jack's on his way back, and you guys are fiddling around with the comms, and Bocephus is able to get through. Report from Sub-Lieutenant Venati. She reports that mining operations are actually going good. There was an injury on the surface, but she was able to she's piloting one of the small ship's boats. She was able to get in a hurry, apply first aid, and seal the vac suit and load the guy up into the boat, and is currently en route. She left Lieutenant Albrin Moss in charge of operations while she delivered this injured crewman back to Deepnight Revelation.
Sweet.
Wonderful. Good job then. We had 100% faith in you in doing this correctly. We never doubted you at all.
Right. Yes, of course.
You traitors.
I've got a trick for her. Yeah.
She's in an awkward position because she's got this job through her daddy.
Yeah. So
her uncle, I guess. So
right, but she should expect some hazing coming soon.
Oh yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, what if we got like a petri dish that was bigger, like a plate-sized one, but maybe just like a half-inch deep, and we peed in it, and then froze the pee. So it was like a pea plate. And then we put it in our china cabinet and leave.
That's just kind of a dick move. That's so.
Especially since we're talking about fish pee.
That's way too much work.
Aquatic.
That is a lot of work.
Mammal pee.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see the high school senior in air quotes prank that went on where they poured concrete into the toilets of the high school?
Oh, that was stupid.
It was stupid. It did something like $400,000 worth of damage. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
really
for the rest of their lives.
That's really dumb.
Yeah, and now they're kind of bitching and moaning that they're not going to be allowed to walk at graduation. It's like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? Like, I mean, that's not even a prank. That's just outright destructive.
You dumb motherfucker.
I mean,
yeah, they should castrate those kids.
We pulled a lot of pranks in high school, but nothing that did structural damage to the.
Right, yeah.
You guys grew up in a different world than I did.
I
grew up during Vietnam, and I wore a uniform that said California National Guard on it. In high school.
Me and my wife went to junior high together, and at the same school they had this big mural in the courtyard, and it represented all Forest Heights and all this, and I went and I spray painted that mural. I put nipples on the cheerleaders' titties, and it had a school bus, that said like LRSD, and I put sucks behind it, and I misspelled horny, but I put smile if you're horny, but I misspelled it, and so yeah, I did. I was a vandal.
So
we'd pick up the principal's car and bring it into the student main courtyard area. And so
we took the principal's phone number and went and applied for all the little shit where you they have like a jar and say fill out your business information and draw to win, and so all these advertisers and shit would get their phone number.
Yeah. We put our VP's phone number on an escort waiting list that we'd gotten out of a magazine.
Yeah.
So he was getting all sorts of interesting calls.
Gee, the only interesting thing I had was my buddies picked up my car and tried to put it back into the back end of a farm truck and drive off with it.
So you guys
since it was a little Austin Healey Sprite.
So you guys get back to
6 guys picked it up. Carried it off.
Well, that's easy. My buddy John, their family had Volkswagen Rabbits, and they had big rocks in their yard as landscaping. So we would pick those cars up and put them nose to nose so that you couldn't back out because the rocks from the landscaping were blocking. I mean, the only way to get that car out was to actually lift it and rotate it again. And we would do that. We'd do that in the middle of the night, TP their house, and then open the car door and close it and set off the car alarm and take off. And so, so they'd wake up to their car alarm going off and go outside and the whole house be TP and the cars are rotated.
So you guys get back
to... You try that where I grew up, and the military police will put you in the brig, and your parents will have to come get you.
So you guys get back to one of the Ford pods, just as Sub-Lieutenant Venati is bringing the ship's one of the ship's boats into the full hangar, and you dock into the docking space, and you guys are grabbing your gear, and David Andreich, the space wizard, says something along the lines of, oh, this is a very interesting journey. I'm thankful that it was uneventful, as he steps out and
into a full-on coup.
Everybody make a recon plus intellect check. Shit, that's pretty good for Jack. That's pretty good for Sarda.
I get a 7.
Okay. And a 13. So...
You have to go one of those tables because he rolled box cards?
I'm sorry, what was that?
He rolled double 6s. Does he get some kind of special table he has to look up now?
No, but I will tell you, or I'll show you what you see here in just a minute. I'm gonna have to throw you guys up
And he shows us some kind of mystical beings they mined. Supposed to grow into a giant bean plant to giant kingdom.
Oh no, it's going to be far more interesting than that. Trust me. Keep these down to a reasonable size. Wait. No, that's right.
Uh-oh.
I like how you just automatically. Oh shit! Here we go.
we're gonna have to kill some. Plasma grenade. Well, I don't have any with this character.
Well, you definitely have your flame rifle. I mean, we went on a mission. It's pretty much standard.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look and see. I don't know if a flame rifle will do much for this guy, but we'll find out. Oops. So everybody except for Randolph.
I'm sitting there scratching my balls.
Yeah, you're like, man, these seats are uncomfortable.
This is the space whale assassin.
So, Bocephus, Jack, and Sarda. The first thing that Bocephus and Sarda notices as you step out, there is the sound of something. It's like something's eating a bag of potato chips, and the potato chips might be made of foil. And Jack turns and looks. What? Oh, God, I hate Roll20. I swear to God.
I've got to clean up the game I've been running on Thursday nights. I haven't been using folders very well.
Well, they every once in a while I notice that something that I have put in, especially in the handouts, will suddenly disappear, like it was never there.
Oh, wow!
And which just happened right here.
I've had PDFs be real iffy.
Yeah, the PDF thing is, I don't know.
You have to close it and reopen it, and close it and reopen it until you get something that's visible.
Yeah, and it takes forever to load these things up. Anyways, Jack, you see a couple of these things hanging off of the ship.
Well, that's not good.
And they are literally chewing into the hull.
That's not good at all.
Hanging off the outside of the ship?
Yeah, specifically, you're seeing them in two places. There are 4 of these things. You are seeing 2 of them latched onto the section of the hull where you brushed up against that decaying matter. There are 2 more near where the probe docked with the Desnex, and also around that where the probe docked, you can see that there are a bunch of what look like shiny silver ovoids that are attached to the ship
eggs.
around that area.
Eggs. Oh my God.
So your mental scan probably should have picked something up.
These, well, I need to look at that. So
Are they crystals? Crystalline?
They are of a silicon-based nature. Yes. Everybody can roll initiative.
I don't think flame rifle's going to do anything to that.
Not great.
6.
There we go. So between Bocephus and Sarda, which one of you would like to go first?
Sarda can go first.
Okay, I was going to let you go first, but that's okay.
I was faster.
So, Jack, you see these things attached to the ship, and you can see that, I mean, it is... The maw of this thing is just a rotating blender of teeth, and it appears to be chewing on the hull. What would you like to do?
Something tells me I don't want it to.
What kind of weapon do I have?
You have anything that you... I mean, I would assume that you're fully kitted out. There was no reason for you guys not to be, so...
All right.
We're in the hazard suits, too, so we have some protection.
Right, yeah, you've got plus 15 protection.
Okay, then let's try and shoot it with a laser rifle.
Okay. So, these things are not small. Oh, wait. Yeah, these things are not tiny. They have so creatures, they go by hits. These things have 20 hits. They appear to be, you're guessing they would appear to be fairly, or at least Bocephus would assume that they seem to be fairly young. At 20 hits, they do have armor plates on them. So yeah, go for it. Holy shit.
Nice hit.
Yeah.
That's my good rolls.
It's plus 6 damage.
Yeah, so that is an exceptional success, which means you get to do something really cool. I was gonna have you roll a hit location. I'm like, it's a worm. I mean, it doesn't really have a knee.
Holy shit!
Jesus.
What are you firing? That is a hand cannon. 5 6.
That's a laser rifle.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
5 6 is a lot of damage.
So Jack fires
Plus
this
10.
laser rifle and hits this leech creature, and it literally lights on fire, kind of from the inside out, and he burns it down. It's gone. Sarda, what would you like to do?
God. Thank goodness, Jack.
Well, I think I'm gonna do a little experimenting here, and we'll see if the flame rifle has any impact on these things.
Okay.
So I will shoot one with the flame rifle, and barely hit it.
Yeah,
for
you got him.
12 fire damage.
Okay, so you hit him, and he takes. Well, hold on. Right, there we go. So it actually takes 7 hits, 7 points of damage from the flame rifle, and the fire It takes damage. It is affected by the heat.
Okay.
And it lets out this like shriek. Bocephus,
that has blast 3. I don't know how closely grouped they are, but
well, the one that this one was nearby was already dead. The other two are unfortunately closer to like kind of up and around towards the top of the ship, so they're going to be a little bit harder to get to. And there's eggs up there, and so you can see that this thing clearly takes damage from your flame rifle, but it is armored.
Got it. No worries. Okay.
So Bocephus, your initial, so just even without spending any side points, you can realize. I mean, you can detect that these things have some kind of animalistic thought process, but beyond that, they are not. It's not like you're going to be able to talk to these things.
Fair enough. I'm going to run over to the closest console and radio out that we need a biological containment team here where we're at immediately.
Okay. Well, you can do that.
Marines.
Yeah, you can do that directly from your wrist communicator. You can call to the bridge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. And if I have a minor action to use, I will extend my extendo shield.
Okay. So yeah, you pop your shield and radio in for a hazmat team.
I mean, that's got to be our standard thing. I mean, we've brought alien creatures on the ship. It needs to be contained and immediately dealt with. Everything must be cleaned.
Not a fungal alert.
Yeah, you might tell them
people to panic.
Yeah, the entire ship goes into crop your pants mode.
Well, I'm fine with that. It's an excellent drill.
Everybody has to go to the back little boys' room to change their underwear.
That's like being part of the Marines from Aliens and calling up and saying that you found a xenological threat, and they immediately think that it's the fucking alien. No, it's like, I don't know, it's a space rat. So Bocephus calls in for a containment team. And you can immediately see that the alarms on the ship start to go off. Randolph, what would you like to do?
Decisions. Grouse rifle or laser pistol? I'll go with the Gauss rifle.
Okay. Light them up.
You don't have to get as close.
Single shot, burst, or full auto? I mean, full auto is not going to gain you a whole lot, but burst can add... Burst adds its auto score to the to your damage. And then
do I lose any? Do I have any dice modifier for it?
No, but are you using your Gauss rifle that you purchased, or are you using the ship's Gauss carbine?
I'm using my Gauss rifle.
Okay, so.
Right out of the catalog, 2023.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, I get an 8.
Sweet.
I hit it.
Yes, you do.
Wish I had some dexterity.
Yes. Boy, I wish I was more dexterous.
Well, I already got augmentation, so I got DM0.
Well, So yeah, so that would be so Gauss rifle has auto 3, AP 5, so it's going to ignore its armor. So roll 4D plus 3. Oh, nice. So Randolph sprays this thing with his magnetic bullet hose, and you can see a whole bunch of goo fly out of this thing, and it drops off the ship. The other two leechers, one of them, so both of the other leechers that are up around where the probe dock is, one of them kind of lets go and rears up like it's protecting the eggs. The other leecher unhooks from the ship's hull and drops down and moves to attack. And let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to just roll a d4. It's going to try to attack Bocephus.
I think
Bocephus will
must be
take
tasty.
Yeah.
You've got the shield. You're in the best shape for this, I think.
Yeah. So let's just.
He's
see
in
what
a
happens.
hazmat suit and a shield.
Well, it doesn't. Do they have natural?
They have what?
I'm looking to see if it's got natural. It does not, though. These are
the NPC stats don't give you bonuses for stats. It's just sort of whatever it says under melee or whatever.
Well, yeah, but they don't. These are more of. I mean, they can do damage, but they are more of a threat to your ships. I mean, you don't want these things getting loose and roaming around the ship. That's going to be a nightmare. But it misses trying to attack Bocephus, and just Bocephus is able to just duck out of the way. They're not exceptionally dexterous, especially in gravity. We are back to Jack. Jack, what would you like to do?
I'd like to kill something.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you got one right here.
All right.
There you go. That is a +2 to your damage.
He's dead.
Yeah, he is. Even with his armor. Jack just lights up this leecher, and it drops. Sarda, you know that there's still one more up there, and how many eggs? There are... Come on. There you go. There are 10 eggs up there.
I'm going to maneuver up to shoot at the eggs.
Okay, so
I'm using the flame rifle. It's got a burst 3. I'm just gonna try to roast all those eggs.
Or just hose it.
Do I need to roll like an acrobatics or something to get up there? I don't know what I've got. Well, actually, I don't know if this suit has mag.
So, I would assume that. I mean, I don't know what's that.
And even then, it's rather unwieldy to do that in gravity.
Right. Hostile environment suit. They're bulky.
Yeah, they're usually an add-on effect that gets added on. You know, the components.
Yeah.
Usually.
I would assume that something like that would be something that would be available. I can't imagine why you wouldn't have mag boots. But so you getting into position. So because the gravity is turned on, you would 6 meters is enough for you to get to like a work ladder.
Sure.
Your other 2 minor actions are going to be climbing up that ladder, getting to a position and hooking up, or 1 minor action to climb up the ladder to get into a position where you can hang on, and then you could use that last minor action to aim, which will give you a +1 on the next turn.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'll get in position to take a shot next round.
Okay. Bocephus, what are you doing? Your mic's up.
Then we got an injured crewmate in the next place over.
Yep, he's over here in this hangar.
I need to go over there and make sure there's no creatures that came in with their ship as well, even though they were from somewhere else.
That isn't a terrible idea. So you can spend all 3 minor actions getting to this airlock, which leads to this hallway, which then can lead to over here. So you are running to get to the hangar space to check on this other crewmate. Randolph, what would you like to do?
Can I see this supposedly female mother with the eggs? Can I see it, or do I have to move?
So you can see every once in a while, because she's up there kind of wiggling her head around and hissing and is all kinds of aggro. Every once in a while you can see her head poke out and then duck back using basically your ship as cover. And you've seen Sarda, he's climbing up an access ladder so that he can get a better shot at where she is.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fry everything up there. That's my plan.
Can I move 6 meters and be able to see her?
Yeah, I would say you can move 6 meters, and she. Where is my cover? There we go. I would say that she's going to have. Well, she's using, like I said, you can see her, but she's going to have plus 15 to her armor. But let's see how well it is that you do to shoot. Because I mean,
what's the point?
Well, I mean, she may not have armor. It depends on how well your shot is. Cover's only as good as if it's.
It's a 5. So
yeah, no. So yeah, you hear a brrr, and you can see a number of rounds bounce off the hull of the ship. She goes over to one of the eggs and kind of puts her head down over it, and you can hear a crunch, and there's just metallic metal. There's just metal flakes that blow out from the top part of the shattered egg, and a small baby leecher comes out, and it's all hungry and pissed off, and it immediately comes out of the egg and latches onto the hull of the ship.
I don't like it already.
That's the ugliest baby I ever saw. Jack, what would you like to do?
I'm going to drop the laser rifle and try and climb up on top where the bitch and her babies are.
Okay, so yeah. So three minor actions. You can grab one of the moving ladders and move it over to the ship so that you can climb up onto it. The second minor action gets you up onto the roof, and second minor action you go up the stairs. Third minor action you're on top of the roof. The next round you will have a clear shot. Sarda, what are you doing?
If I've got the shot, I'm just basically trying to hose down as many of these eggs as possible.
Okay. So
burst 3, and it's a flamethrower.
Yeah, so it has a 3-meter radius that this thing's going to light up. Go ahead and make your shot.
Where the hell is... This is a problem with having a bunch of weapons.
Right? Yes.
And aiming gives me +1. So 11 fire damage.
Yes. Okay.
Does that factor in the... No, it doesn't factor in the bonus 2. So technically 13, right?
Yes. So, Baby and Mom each take 8, and Baby isn't looking so good. Baby's like smoldering, and it has let go of the ship and is kind of gurgling. It's still alive and moving around. The other 9 eggs, though, are lit up, and they are on fire. They are not destroyed, though.
Yeah, I figure it's going to take a while.
Bocephus, you get over into the hangar, and you can see that a medical team is on site, but because you had called in, you are the last one that makes it into the hangar, and the iris door shuts and locks. They have gone into a lockdown mode, trying to contain or keep this thing contained in the docking space.
Yeah, it's going to probably take minutes before anybody responds because they're all going to be showing up in those giant protective suits they have to
Right, yeah, they get
suit up in. And
right. They actually, I don't know that they're actually going to be wearing.
They got cameras; they can look.
Right, but I'm saying like, each round of combat is seconds, right? So by the time someone suits up for a hostile,
man, I mean, it's a matter of grabbing a gun and going. But I mean, they're what I mean. Somebody somewhere in the ship has looked on a camera now and seen the combat going on,
right?
And they're reporting that in. I mean,
oh yeah.
So I mean,
undoubtedly,
if there are any Marines on duty, which I assume they do, they would probably be responding first.
I expect somebody that works security would have been on duty and will be showing up within the next round or so.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, you get through, you squeeze through at the last second, and you can see that a medical team, like three paramedics have shown up. This guy has some minor decompression injuries, not anything major though. It was just a suit tear. It was taken care of quickly enough that it's not like he's in danger of dying from decompression, but probably he's got an elevated heart rate, and he needs a new set of pants.
Well, I mean, how's he mentally handling it?
And a broken arm. Mentally, he ain't doing well. He's kind of freaking out.
I want to try to use psychology to calm him the fuck down.
Okay. So are you using a psionic, or are you?
I'm using this.
Are you gonna ask him how he feels about his
science?
Mother? Okay, so you're gonna ask him
science.
All right.
Yeah, ask him about his mother, whatever. I mean, I've got psychology 1.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if I can use intelligence, charm, or intellect, I can get +2 on the roll.
I would say it would be psychology plus your education score.
Okay, so we're gonna say +2 on the roll, and see what happens. But I mean, if I can get him to calm down and deal with his stress. It's over with, You've made it. You're in great hands. Have a wonderful medical team.
And screams and runs. Kenny screams and runs off.
Right? Yeah, he is.
And you're missing testicle. I can sew that up.
He is. Don't worry, man. I got a bag of marbles. We'll fix you right up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Your attempts at psychology are not helping. You notice that he is a little bit pale and sweating profusely.
He's in shock.
Yep. I give him I have to try next. I'll wait till next round and I'll try something else.
Okay. Randall.
I mean, that's the way it works. Combat.
Can I see any of them yet still? Or do I need to move again?
You would need to move. You would need to use a minor action to climb up the ladder, and but then you could make a shot. Now, here's an example of a perfect use for burst or for auto fire, because auto fire. So you are using a Gauss rifle. Gauss rifle has auto 3, so you can make, essentially, if you were to use auto fire, you could shoot mama, baby, and one of the eggs, and you would make 3 attack rolls. Your first attack roll is normal, your second attack roll is at -1, your third attack roll is at -2. But you can basically just bullet hose the area down. And the only stipulation with full auto fire is that you can hit the number of targets of your auto score, and they have to be within 5 meters of one another.
I'll assume these are. I make a minor action and go up the ladder. I'll go ahead and do auto.
Okay.
So
make 3 rolls.
There's a 9.
So Mom was hit.
There's another 9.
Baby was hit.
There's an 8.
Okay, and you hit some eggs. So let's do Mom first. Roll 40 plus 1 for damage.
12.
Wow, she's still standing. Okay. And then for Baby, roll 40 plus 1 for damage.
18.
Oh, jeez. Baby explodes into goo. Just Baby is gone. And then roll just 4d for eggs.
8.
And you hose down 5 of the eggs. So there are 4 left. Is that right? Yes. There are 4 left. And yeah, they're already burning. They're on fire. And your third shot, you rake across the area and you see a number of these eggs just splinter into bits of goo.
And it's the eggs turn to do something.
No, I mean that was enough to kill them. I mean your bullets went right through what was inside, so they are done. The Leecher's kind of backed herself into a bad position, is what she's done.
And she's gonna have to jump off the ship.
She might, yeah. I don't think she's not that smart though. She moves across the top of the ship. She moves 6 meters and is trying to, and she latches onto the front of, kind of curves over and latches onto the front of one of the fuel scoops and is trying to burrow her way into the ship, trying to find cover. And that's not going to be something that's going to take, that's going to go fast. Jack, you have a clear shot on her.
All right.
Sure, Jack.
There you go. So what are you shooting now?
Let's go with a laser revolver, I guess.
Oh, you've got that. That's right, the laser
or the sidearm. They're both the same, I guess.
Yeah, go whichever, your choice.
Probably sidearm. We'll say sidearm.
Yeah. Go ahead and so that's another +6 damage, which means
17.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I think that's probably going to do it. Yeah. So you pop her with your sidearm, and she slumps and falls off the ship. Bocephus, go ahead and make a medic plus education check to... so are you dosing this guy up with a sedative and trying to get his ass to calm down? What are you doing?
Actually, I'm going to try telepathy.
Oh, okay.
The psionic skill to send motions.
Right.
And I want to send a calming emotion. And so it's a routine check, and the effect will determine how strong of an emotion I'm able to kind of sway him here.
Right.
Yeah, so I need to beat a 6 by a lot to if he's thoroughly freaking out. 10.
Yeah. So you are able to basically you send this guy pictures of a nice calm beach on a sunny day, and you know, all of the emotion of sipping a Mai Tai, sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
some
I'll
white
tell her,
noise in the background.
yeah, I'll be like, man, just look. At least you're not serving in the engineering part, you know, because they've got a new thing where they've been dipping their balls in glitter. It's pretty nuts.
And so,
especially since we use epoxy with the glitter.
when I was the DJ for the strip club, we used to have the joke like, so Argentina comes in and she's decided to put glitter on with her makeup. So if Argentina has glitter, how many people in the strip club have glitter? The answer is always everybody. Everybody has glitter forever. It's the herpes of makeup.
Man, I wore a see-through suit to the psychologist once, and he said, man, I can clearly see your nuts.
Ha ha. So, so you send these calming emotions, get him calmed down. Not so where the suit ripped, this guy has a shattered arm, and it evidently while he was mining part of the cliff face that he was mining into, it was like shale, and it just came off and pierced his suit and crushed his arm. And so he's going to. There is a possibility that he might be losing that arm.
Can I go ahead and provide some medical attention?
We can make it better, stronger.
We can make him better, faster, stronger, but we don't want to spend too much.
60 million credit, man.
Oh no, man! I'm gonna totally take care of this guy. But the very first thing I need to do is try.
Well, you're gonna clone him a new arm.
Attention.
Put it in the
No,
vat.
I just need to do medical attention.
Yeah, make another medic plus. I mean, you are the other three are paramedics. You are a doctor. Go ahead and make a medic plus education check.
I can start telling them things. So this will be +5 plus.
Get a bottle opener added to that robot arm.
My medical kit gives me another +2, so this is +7 total with all my bells and whistles. 16.
Yeah, you are able to get him fixed up to the point where, I mean, you're not able to fix up his arm, but there is a good, thanks to your excellent medical care, you've probably saved his arm. He's got a lot of physical therapy in his future, but he's not going to have to go full cybernetic or anything like that.
Is he having any hemorrhoids or any kind of growth on his colon?
It's the follow-up question he always asks in any medical procedure.
Yes.
He wants to know the status of your
butthole. Well, he does have
butthole.
gonorrhea.
We need to do a prostate check.
Yeah. Make sure that's okay.
I'll have one of the little assistant paramedic guys. I'll be like, have you ever done a prostate check? You know, Vincent.
Now's the time to learn.
Yeah, they'll come here. We've got him sedated. He's calm.
You do know they do a blood test for that.
Yeah.
So you guys have.
There's no need to poop in a box. Just
he's got a remote probe for that.
So you guys.
I'm a hands-on approach kind of guy.
You guys have taken care of these.
Do your flippers
leechers.
have hands?
I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna do the life scan.
Okay.
Just make sure that we didn't miss anything. See if there's any bugs that we may not have noticed.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
On the drone as well.
Well, I figured we've probably looked at the drone, right? I mean,
no one actually said it, but I mean, we should.
Yes, that's true.
We should actually just say that.
The difficulty's 7, so
yeah.
Difficulty's 4. Sorry, so I think I.
Yeah, no, you do not detect any more of these things.
Well, hello there, little girl.
I do have maintenance. I do have engineering and mechanic. So in terms of evaluating the damage done to the ship,
So, so what you can determine by these things, that they attach themselves to the hull of a ship or anything really that has metal deposits, like in like a planetoid where the mining is going on, and they have this array of teeth around their maw, and that they basically just anchor on, and then they have an acidic secretion that dissolves the surface layer that they then absorb. And so where these things were leached onto your ship, you can see that the metal, the armor plating or the hull is actually, there's like soft spots. Go ahead and make a engineering plus, no, make a mechanic plus intellect or education check.
8.
So you determine that these things did, between all of them, they did 4 points of damage directly to the hull. So not anything major right away, but of course you're determining, your guess is that these are probably, not fully grown adults, and over the course of the next week, your science team has gone over these bodies. They tell you that that's a good thing because evidently as they feed, they grow rapidly. So these particular ones, had 20 hits. The adults did. The baby had 10 hits, and the eggs each had 10 hits. They can grow to as big as having 50 hits and 6 armor.
Well, check the whole Deepnight revelation, scan around it all, and make sure it hasn't bumped up against anything.
Make sure all the mining ships as they come back are checked.
Yeah, you're checking everything. You don't find any more of these things, thankfully. But Bocephus, in your research and the and let me see if this is in here. In your research and the research of your science teams, it is. You determined that the cause of death for the biological creature that you saw out there was caused by these leechers.
Oh.
Evidently, it just had so many of them that it killed it.
It's like flukes.
Right, and the computers, they have modeled what this creature looked like. They have nicknamed it the Leviathan, and the computer models estimate that it looks like this.
It's a space whale.
That is a space whale, yeah.
All right, so, I mean, how big would a baby of that have to be?
Yeah, they're big. They're big. And the
200-ton ship.
Other things, other information that's come out in studying it, they estimate that this it is a space-going life form. So space living in vacuum is its natural habitat. Aside from that, there's because of how this cloud of biological material has kind of spread out, they can't really tell a whole lot more. Like now, your science team is really interested in, they're really interested in wanting to know a little bit more, like how does it get around? What does it eat? This is all information that they don't have.
I want them to take and sequence that DNA and test it, and any if they need if they need my assistance in any kind of way, let me know. But I want them to map that DNA out as best they can.
Okay.
Be a wonderful thing for them to do, and yeah, report directly to me.
Okay.
See what you can create with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's for the good of all mankind that we all learn how to just be space whales.
So you get over. So you guys have kind of settled back in. Like I said, you got. We need to figure out how many units were mined. So they get another 23 units of exotic metal ore and radiologicals. So, I mean, 23 units of exotic biological matter, 23 units of exotic geological material. That's that was a nice haul. But Cephas, you're back in your med bay, and the captain of the ship makes his way all the way down from the bridge down to your personal med bay.
Ah, well, I will welcome him in with the respect he deserves. I'll go to attention.
And he's got a portable computer with him, and a tablet. And he says, "Oh, no, at ease, relax. I'm the captain. The bridge is my domain. This is your med bay, so this is your domain. So please relax."
Well, yeah. Then we'll have to take a shot.
He says you requested some information that you were locked out of, and
you're gonna offer him a shot from your
from your private still.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
with the mild hallucinogenics.
Oh, it's just a shot. It's not like a pint, Maybe a peach flavored schnapps.
If the captain's microdosing, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, what could possibly go wrong? So he
what could possibly go wrong?
He says well, my first question about your information or about your request for information. He says I wasn't actually sure what it was that we were looking at. He says I have honestly never heard anything about this, but digging into it, evidently this is standard information in all Imperial fleet vessels, and evidently the Navy didn't do a very good job of clearing the computer core.
Well, that was wonderful. That was nice of him.
He says, may I ask why you need this information?
Yes, due to the sensitive nature of our mission, we need to make sure that we have the best available people on hand at all times. And so I want to take DNA samples and have people report in, key personnel report in, where that we will bank their memory. And then if they die, I will clone them, install their memories, and have them back on duty within a month. That's the goal. And I mean, granted, their most up-to-date memories might be lost, but from the time to their bank, they'll still know all their skills, and we can continue on. We don't have the ability to really, pick up new crew members or anything, Right. So basically, it's an insurance that we have the personnel needed to complete our mission and return home.
He says, "Okay." He says, he hands you the portable computer, and he says, all the information that we have is there. He says, this is classified, code red, extremely classified. Nobody else can know that you have this. Not even members of your own team.
Oh, their secret is safe with me, sir. I'm dedicated to upholding the secrets. These are not things that you want common crew members talking about as we go to these cultures that we don't know anything about. It might be offended by this common use of logical science.
So going over these notes, you find that there is, and it is now a defunct program, as in no longer in service.
Right.
There was a program that was instituted during the Second Imperium, and it led all the way up to the very beginning of the Third Imperium before it was abandoned. And what the program was is they would take some elite operative. And when I say elite operative, that doesn't necessarily mean combat.
Right.
these operatives could have, like one of them, their main ability, their biggest ability was accounting. They would go through a process where they would strip the agent's mind of all personality, memories, and skills, and encode it onto a wafer. This, unfortunately, killed the agent.
Oh, don't tell him any of this. This is bad.
But these wafers could then be stored. They were special wafers. They had to be stored under cold conditions on particular ships. And if a circumstance that threatened the Imperium as a whole came about, a member of the bridge crew would be selected with a wafer that had a wafer jack. This wafer would be inserted. The personality and memories on this wafer jack would assert control over that person for a period of 1 week, and would enact whatever they felt was needed in order to rectify the situation and protect the Imperium. These agents that were stored on these wafers had ultimate authority by the Emperor. They were the Emperor's hand. So,
man, I would sure like to get a hold of a handful of those wafer jacks.
Even the captain of the vessel was instantly outranked by whatever personality was enacted by these wafers.
Wow.
And
that's crazy. Yeah.
And presently, there are none of these wafers currently in use. It doesn't say that they were destroyed. It says that they are no longer in use.
Yeah.
Where they're stored.
Right. Well, and it doesn't say where they're stored either. The logical guess would be that they're stored somewhere on one of the depot worlds, or possibly on Capital.
Yeah, well, this gives me a basis of the science. Maybe I can refine it so it doesn't kill the subject, and I can just create a memory bank and clone and reload and go.
But there are reports in here of what some of the engagements that these agents were involved in, and we're talking about things like where a plague would break out on a world, and the captain of whatever ship was sent to deal with the situation ran into a situation where a plague was spreading so rapidly that there was nothing that they could do to stop it. And so they activated one of these agent wafers, and the agent's solution was to sterilize the planet from orbit.
Yeah.
And the thought process on that being that we can't allow anybody at any time from here out to leave that world, because if they go to another world, they're just going to start spreading the plague again, and it's going to jump from world to world to world, and that entire planet will be sterilized. And so those are the kinds of things that these agents did.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily want to remake the agents, but I mean the basics of the science. Maybe I can build on that to get something more of what I want, even if it takes time.
Yeah. So
you got 20 years.
You got at least 20 years. Yeah, no rush.
18 and a half.
18 and a half, yeah, now. So that is where we will leave off here. And we will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock on Friday night with the next episode of Deep Night Revelation.
That was fun.
I would want to set up some kind of drone patrol around the Deep Night, just checking for space leeches.
Just constantly looking for leeches and eggs. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Until we're ready to leave this system. Yeah.
I wonder if they survive in jump space.
Plus, it keeps our remote ops folks busy.
Right. Yeah. Your remote ops people can get some practice and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can set that up as a standard procedure. Is that to on it every?
At least,
I mean,
at least
could,
before we jump, until we jump.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about other systems, but
you could make that a standard procedure. Is that before every jump to be scanning using probes to go around the ship and scan for these things,
or even have it be part of the each shift, like one run is done. Just
right.
Like the security guys probably patrol the ship, once per ship, a couple times a ship, just sort of have it so that every time they sensor guys switch shifts, one of the first things they do is just scan the ship, do a quick scan every 8 hours. I don't know how. There's a Star Trek thing, three shifts or 4 shifts or
I would guess it's probably an 8-hour shift. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah. All
right. I will see you guys next week.
Thanks. Have a great night.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.